Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's extremely excruciating mountable episode, we're going to be replacing the engine mount on the left side. That's a left-hand engine mount we're going to be replacing, and that's the one down there. So the thing about engine mounts is they need to be replaced, every couple of years, obviously depending upon the conditions that they are being exposed to. But what's important is I've had this engine on here since the beginning of the vehicle itself, so I've decided, look, it's time now. It's actually way overdue for a replacement, and hopefully it's going to improve the driving capability of the Opel Corsa. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we need to actually take the pressure off the mounting itself here. So the mounting is into the body, and then what you'll see is it's got two big Torx bolts here, and then it's got 4 of the smaller ones over here. So we need to remove the pressure from the mounting, and the way we're going to do that is to jack up the gearbox. You want to jack up underneath the gearbox just enough just to take the pressure off from the mounting itself. And to do that, we're going to go underneath. Let me show you guys here what we're doing. So what I'm doing is I've got my jack underneath, and I'm just going to put it underneath the gearbox mounting. That's the gearbox to engine mounting. I think it's the best place to do it. It's the easiest place to do it. Do not put it on your sump, guys. Whatever you do, please do not jack up on your sump. If you are going to jack up on your sump, you want to have a very, very thick, big piece of wood that spreads the weight. And I'm just going to take it up a little bit, just to take the pressure off the mounting. I think that should be sufficient. I'm going to check it from the top again, just to make sure that we are doing that. Yeah, definitely the pressure is now off the mounting itself, so we can loosen those 2 big bolts and then the other small ones as well. So for this job, you're going to have a couple of good tools. Number one, you've got to have your Torx bolts. Number one, you've got to have your Torx sockets. It's very, very important, guys, to have the proper Torx socket. Also an extension. This is what we're talking about over here. Extension bar like that. I'm using the breaker bar because, yeah, those bolts are going to be very, very tight. I think they talked about 18 Newton meters, and we use a long extension with a E18 Torx socket at the end there. So sometimes it might be better to move the water bottle, but I'm going to try and just risk getting in there and try to just loosen the bolts without having any complications. So what we want to do is get in, make sure that your socket is on the bolt, and then try not to touch your water bottle here. I am taking a bit of a risk, but I think it's a bit of a calculated risk, so I'm going to go with that. Now to loosen it, we need to turn it the other way. Let me just get it on better. Here we go. And now we're just going to turn it loose. Just be careful, make sure your socket is on properly, and don't damage the water bottle. There we go. Okay, we've cracked him loose. We'll crack the other one as well. Yeah, he's not touching. Seems to be fine. And just make sure it's on properly, make sure your socket is on properly, and then, oh yeah, he's super tight, super tight. We've cracked him loose. I like to just crack all my bolts loose first. I don't like to loosen the bolts all the way. We just crack him loose until he's able to turn. We'll do each one like that. And just keep an eye at the bottom here. Make sure that that gap's not getting bigger, or that you're struggling to turn the bolts, because that's going to mean you haven't released the tension that's on the actual mounting itself. So you might have to jack it up a bit more. Okay guys, next up is going to be the short bolts on the side here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. They are your E12 bolts. That's E12 torque socket. We're going to use a short extension and then our breaker bar again. But before we do that, we've got to remove the wiring from here just so we can get to the back bolts over here. And that's quite simply, you're going to take your ECU wiring and just pull out your big plugs. Just like that guys, pull it out, just be careful. You know, I've spoke quite a bit about the wiring on the vehicle. I spoke about the electrics, and just be careful, just try to not damage anything. And just like that, it's out of the way. So now we are able to get in the back, and we can just loosen up our Torx bolts there. I just need to get the socket on. I have the right socket. Yeah, it is the right socket, but I bolted the back. Yes. Right. Okay, so I've had another. So I'm going to try and keep the socket in the right position. It's a little bit tricky at the back. But once the socket's on, hopefully I can put the bar extension on. Looks like, yeah, here we go. That's it. Just make sure your socket's actually on, and we can just loosen him up. Here we go. Yep, he's broken. We broke him loose. Top one. Just try and get the top one on. Okay, we'll take the socket off again. Put it on. There you go. And then put on your extension. Right, I think our top one, we can just do it with the bar. Guys, I'm switching to the ratchet. Hopefully it's going to be not too tight. Okay, no, they're not tight at all. That's probably about 20 Newton meters. So there we go. So that's easy. Okay, so we're getting it loose with the ratchet. So don't worry too much about using the breaker bar there. We can just use our ratchet. And of course, there's going to be one that's going to give me an issue. Okay, I'm changing over to a smaller ratchet so I can get in. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's it. In we go. They're all loose, and I can feel there's no tension on the mounting itself because these bolts wouldn't have turned that easy if there was. I'm just going to try and get you guys to see what I'm doing. Let's get in a bit. Here we go. That's him loose. This one here. Yeah, they're so loose now. They can come out by hand. It's the bottom one. Yeah. Good to have one of these swivel ratchets for this. Okay, here we go. Now we can loosen our top ones. And out it comes. Wow. Sure. Let's have a closer look, guys. Yeah, so there he is, 18 years, did his job, but yeah, I can see he's not the mounting he used to be in the beginning. Clearly broken there. Definitely was time probably well overdue already. So now we're just gonna have a look at this one and then the new one as well and see what they look like. So that's your old mounting, that's your new one. They've made them very similar. Something I've noticed is that these brackets were up, and I take it that this brackets, these little tabs, not brackets, but these tabs need to be knocked down because they stay in the up position, whereas on the old one they flat down. So I take it we've got to knock them down, so I will do that, and then yeah, we can proceed to install. And at the back we've got a Torx bolt there, and we've got the Allen key bolt here as well on this side. Now obviously this is to keep your rubber in. So the unit comes as a complete unit, so just make sure that this Allen key is tight at the back, guys. And I think you need to put a torque on here, but yeah, it mustn't come loose. But this one is firm in place. This one's is much firmer, much stiffer. It's not the exact same design, but it's very similar, like really very similar, so I don't have an issue with that. In terms of parts, compatibility looks the same. In terms of endurance, we're going to see that as the months go by. So I've just noticed, I thought let me just double check, because I found that these bolts need to be torqued, and these ones also. This is 80 Newton meters and that's 25 Newton meters. But then there's a bolt at the back as well. Now that bolt, this one is an Allen key bolt or hex bolt, and then I noticed on the old mounting, I've noticed that there is a Torx bolt in there. That's a Torx bolt. So now I'm just looking at what they say in the manual, and in the manual they're speaking about left hand side, that mounting. They're speaking about engine mounting bolts. Left hand side mounting bolts to the body is 25, that's the 4 bolts. And then this mounting bracket to transmission bracket, that's 80 Newton meters. This is Newton meters. And then they said the rubber through bolt is 80 Newton meters, and then tighten with a further 45 degrees and another 15 degrees. So that is your torquing spec for your mounting. Right, attempt number 2, trying to loosen the old bolt. That's also teaching us how to do the job, because now you know that this is the way you're going to torque up the new one. Whoa, that's pretty tight. Yeah, it felt like 80 Newton meters. So guys, that's the way you do it. Sometimes, you know, you learn by trial and error. And now we can just turn him out and see what we've got. But that's the way you do it, guys. That's the way you do it. Here, out he comes. Now we can, I don't know if this bolt is reusable. I don't know if this is a Torx stretch bolt. I don't think so. I'm thinking of reusing it inside that new fitting. If the threads are the same, then we can use it. It doesn't look like a stretch bolt, but this bolt is looking brand new still, because this is the first time this bolt is actually coming out. It's the first time this mounting is being changed. So yep. And that's what you have, your 3 pieces of your mounting. And I think the purpose originally was that you could replace this rubber inside here. It might still be the case, but I don't know. I don't think so, because they sell the whole unit complete like that. So that's what it looks like. It's a little nipple on here which goes into the hole there. And yeah, and obviously you bolt it down to that. So that's the way you do it. So now let's put in the new mounting, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use the Allen key to loosen him up and see what are we dealing with inside this mounting. So it's good to open it up now, so now we can see what size bolt there is. Now this one's not torqued yet. He's not torqued. That's how he comes. He comes loose inside. He's not torqued. When I took him out of the packaging, he was loose. I tightened him up a little bit. I wasn't sure how he was going to work, but that's how he works. So now, that's how he comes apart. Oh, that's beautiful. Still strong. Anyway, so what we have is your 3 components here. Let me just give you a bit of view there. You've got your bolt, and you've got your mounting on the other side that the bolt goes through. What I want to see is, this is the old bolt. That's the new bolt. Look at the size of this bolt. Look at the original bolt, guys, compared to... That's the original bolt. Same. That's how long it is, and that's how thick it is. It's about the same, but it's obviously a bit more of a robust bolt. Head is bigger here. Got a nice washer on it here as well. There was no washer on that one. So bolt is more robust, but whether it will fit in here, that's another story. It may not be compatible with this brand OSCA brand. Well, let's have a look. Let's see. That's our old bolt on our new mounting. What you could even do, guys, is you could reuse your old original mounting. That's also something that can happen, provided that this fits in with it. Yeah, it looks like it does. It's virtually exactly the same. Looks like it's exactly the same. Fits in there, everything fits in. And in terms of the bolt, I just want to examine the holes at the bottom. So one bolt is longer than the other. Not sure what the reason for that is. Obviously, the original bolt versus the aftermarket bolt is not going to be the same. But let's have a look inside. Yeah, it looks exactly the same. The depth. The depth is exactly the same. I know you can't see it on the camera, but I can definitely see it with my eye that our depths are the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So that means we could reuse the old bolt. I'm just not sure if it's a stretch bolt or not. But in terms of length, the new one is much longer than the old one. Let's just see what happens. So let's put our old one to one side. Let's just see the height of it as well. Height of the units. They are the same. I can't see a difference there. They look exactly the same. It's hard to compare it, but it looks very, very similar. Very, very similar. So, I mean, if you really were fanatical, you could use the old housing, this old housing, take out the rubber, and then just put it over take the new rubber and put it over into the. You can just take the new rubber and then put it over into the old housing. But we're not going to do that. We're going to give this aftermarket part a chance, a fair chance. So what I'm doing is I'm putting on, we're gripping the bracket here, and then we're going to put our, guys, always blow out your holes, whatever you're doing, with the cylinder here, doesn't matter what it is, always blow out your holes, guys. I'm putting in the old bolt. I just want to see what's going to happen. If it's going to do the same thing, or I like using the original parts as far as possible. This is not a moving part, except for the fact that it is it may be a stretch bolt. The manual does not say anything about that. In fact, I'm going to check quickly and just see. But let's just see how it tightens up. Okay, guys, at some point I'll have to put on the torque wrench, because we have to take this too. Let me just see. Oh, it's getting tight now. Feels good. I just want to check it before I continue. Yeah, he looks very much like he's supposed to. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Looks like he's in position also, like he should be. Okay, I'm going to just check in the manual to see if they say anything about the stretch bolt. So I've just gone to check, and no, it's not. It doesn't say that we need to replace the bolt. It doesn't say that, so we can reuse this bolt. There shouldn't be a problem with doing that. We can reuse the bolt inside there. I'm going to feel happier using the original bolt in there because it looks like a much stronger, more robust bolt. And yeah, let's do it like that. Okay, I'm going to set the torque wrench to 60 Newton meters to start with, and then we'll work our way up to 80. Okay, 70, and then we're going to go up to 80. We're at 80 Newton meters. Let's just go. Oop. Confirm. Okay, 80 Newton meters, guys, and you're going to apply a further left hand 45 and then a 15 degrees. 45 and then 15 degrees. 45 is half of 90, so we'll just do that. Let's do that. 45. There we go. And then I want another 15 degrees, which is very little, guys. 15 degrees is just a short little turn. Yeah, there we go, 15 degrees. That's it. So the last thing we need to do on the mounting is just to tap down our tabs here. Because I saw the original one, the tabs were tapped down. And there you go. And we are done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to lower the gearbox a little bit to see if I can get the mounting in easier. I'm just hoping that that is what needs to be done, because it looks like the mounting is going to go in very, very tight, and I don't want to knock it in. So I just want to see if I can lower the gearbox a little bit. Yes, it's going down. There we go. Okay, here we go. We can just stop there. So I'll take it too far down. And then what we're going to do is take the mounting. What we're going to do is just take the mounting and put it in. Should have enough space to get it in. There we go. So that's the way it goes in. So down first and in. And then I'm going to fix. Oh my word. It's the wrong way around. Yeah, there we go. Guys, just make sure you got it the right way around there, because yeah, it looks like it actually can go in the wrong way, kind of. Okay, so what you'll notice is once you've put your mounting in, you'll see that your bracket, your transmission bracket, your gearbox bracket, and your mounting does not line up. But there's still a lot of play, a lot of flexibility, and we've just got to bring the gearbox up again to try and realign that there. So I'm going to jack it up slowly and just see where we end up. There we go, it's coming up. Yeah, let's get them in line. Okay, it's just touching, so I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to get all my bolts in first. Get my 4 bolts in first, and then we're going to put in the 2 big bolts, and then we're going to torque them down. Guys, I've put all my bolts in order, so they're going into the same holes. Always try and do that best you can. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing the mounting back a little bit, but at the same time pulling the engine forward, and that seems like it's going to work. Yeah, the bolt just went in, and you want the bolt to turn in easy. Don't want to cross thread anything. And then we're going to take our other bolt, put him in, same thing. Just get him in. So now we're going to torque it down. We're going to go to 80 Newton meters. We've torqued our bolts. We're just going to double check them again. Make sure that our bolt is on 80 Newton meters. And we're all done. Okay guys, looks like that we are done. Old mountings out, and wow, I'll probably review it on a separate short. Look at that, he's done. That's the condition of the mounting, so he's not doing too well. So it was actually well overdue, you know, fitting this new mounting. And yeah, the new one, let's see how it goes. Let's see what it does. I've installed him, and we'll see what difference that makes to the drive of the engine. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope that it was educational, and I hope that when you go and you buy your mounting, that all goes well for you as well. So guys, until I see you in the next episode, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section. And of course, remember, we've got a member section as well, so don't hesitate to have a look at that. You'll find much more detail. There will be after the show, which is after this video, I'm going to give different type of content, or content that is much more detailed. We'll go over things like torque specs, etc., and certain other issues that I encounter, or the pros and the cons of what the installation entailed.